We do measure our intangible assets, but we don't do it by making surveys or making these, what would you say, feedback requests when asking people, did you like it? Because it's not a success for me that people like it. Maybe I'm saying something that really provokes them, but then in 3 months' time, if they write me an email and say, hey, you know what, I really got to think about something that really provoked me 3 months ago, so that people have kind of like a spark of energy, and that can come after an hour, it can come all of a sudden, it can come 3 months later. And if I get those emails back, I have actually a full drawer in my inbox. And if I have a rainy day, I can go through all these emails with people who have had a positive impact of something that we did. So that's one way of measuring. Another way of measuring it is what Benjamin Sander, the conductor, called shining eyes. And for me, shining eyes has always been really, really important, that when you're speaking to people, I'm not speaking to the thousands of people out there. I know that somebody will think that I suck. I'm speaking to that one person that's who's getting shining eyes, who's looking at me and then starting to look at the ceiling, because this person now got a reflection, a thought, an idea, got some sort of hope, which futurism is very much about. So that's one way of measuring it also. And maybe the most important is that we want to be able to speak to a very, very broad audience, both horizontally and in a vertical direction. So if I have an audience who is a bunch of business leaders, I need to be able to make relevant information to them. If I'm talking to a bunch of nurses, then I need to get them to think about the future in a way where they can go back and say, yeah, this was really something I could use, because they're spending time away from infants and patients and people who are really needing what they do. But also being able to speak to an audience of people who are 20 years younger than me. Both Liselotte and I believe that when we speak to an audience of school kids or university studies, so people who are like in their 15, 20s, 25 years old, and if they're thinking, oh my God, these girls are just so old farts, then we know that we have to quit. So maybe the best way of measuring it is that, are we still relevant to a younger audience?